This is the most annoyed that I've felt at the end of a game this season. That was pitiful. Hello everybody and welcome back to OUFC Fan View. It's Ian here once again and it's time for another review of another Oxford United game. It was FA Cup third round action for the U's today. They were away at Exeter City. Unbeaten under Gary Rowett, 10 points from the first 4 games, a whole week to prepare for this FA Cup tie. And we've got good memories, good recent memories, because the last time we travelled to St James's Park, there was jubilant scenes as it was the final day of the regular season and Oxford booked their place in the playoffs. What could possibly go wrong, right? Right? Everything could go wrong as Oxford turned out possibly their worst performance of the season and were comfortably beaten by Exeter City. Congratulations to you Exeter fans out there. That is a fine victory and a fully deserved place in round 4 for you because it finished very miserably for Oxford United. Exeter City 3, Oxford United 1. And we'll go over this debacle like we normally do on this channel. I'll go over the team news, I'll give my review of the game highlighting the key incidents, and then I'll give my final thoughts for both sides at the end of the video. If you do just want to jump to the end, that's absolutely fine. Please do so. Use those timestamps down below. But I'd always encourage you to watch the whole thing. Either way, please hit that like button because that does help me out a lot. And if you do like the content, then consider subscribing. So let's have a look at this Oxford United team news. And we thought there'd be changes for Gary Rowett, but he made massive changes. It was only Long, Lee and Phillips that remained in the side from that draw with Preston a week ago. So let's run through it then. Matt Ingram starts in goal. Jordan Thornley is in at centre-back alongside Sam Long. Hedy Terravest is at right-back. Josh McEachran is in the centre of midfield, anchoring that midfield along with Idris El Masouni. Louis Sibley playing on the left wing. It means Siriki Dembele gets a go in the number 10 role, and the Great Dane, Scarlett himself, is up front. New loan signing Alex Matos is on the bench for United, but new signing Ollie Romani is not in the squad at all. Marcelino Ferdinand is back on the bench though, and maybe, just maybe, we might see him given a go. Let's move on to Exeter City then, and Gary Caldwell's Grecians had home wins over Barnet and Chesterfield to get to round 3, but their league form has tailed off a little bit after having a good start to the season. There is only one change though from the side that lost to Bolton, and that's John Lee Yefko coming into defence instead of Ed Francis. Milanik Ali is Exeter's top scorer this season, but he is only on the bench. He did actually score in that game where Oxford won 2-1 on the final day of the season, but it's actually Josh McGuinness who's starting up front for Exeter today. Ex-Oxford United's Yannick Wildschut is unavailable for Exeter. He is injured. I'm sure Oxford fans will be shocked to learn that. Right, let's get on to the game then. And for Oxford, actually started this game really well, and then it tailed off and got worse the more it went on. But let's start talking about that good start. And they nearly scored in the first minute as Sibley had a chance after some good play by Scarlett, Phillips and Dembele. They worked it to Sibley in the penalty area on the left-hand side. It was a decent low effort, but it was a good save by Whitworth. Just a few minutes later, 7 minutes later, and it was Oxford's second shot of the game. Dembele again getting onto a loose ball, got it into Scarlett, who twisted and turned on the edge of the box before having a shot deflected wide. But it was Oxford's third shot of the game on 14 minutes where they finally took the lead. It was an excellent counter-attack which came after an Exeter corner. Dembele bringing the ball out. He got it to Scarlett on the right-hand side. Scarlett didn't waste any time and bent an early cross behind the Exeter backline. Matty Philips was on the left-hand side, popped up unmarked, stroked it first time beyond Whitworth and into the back of the net. What a great start for the Yellows. But that seemed to spur the Grecians into life, and on 17 minutes they nearly equalised. Watts getting free from a throw-in, smashed across into the area. It just cannoned off Sam Long and crashed into the post, and Oxford got away with it, but they didn't last for long because on 21 minutes Exeter were level. It was actually a nice spell of possession from Exeter, and they got the ball down that left-hand side again, the Oxford right. It was Harper who put in an excellent cross all the way over to the right-hand side, and Demitri Mitchell arrived and volleyed it in, annoyingly unmarked. It was a great goal from Exeter point of view though, great cross, great finish, but from Oxford's point of view, all very easy. And why wasn't this guy marked? And Ingram just seemed to watch it go into the back of the net. And the game was just coasting along, really. Nobody was really taking it by the scruff of the neck. We thought we were going to get into half-time at 1-1, but Exeter got a goal just before half-time. On 40 minutes, they'd made that turnaround, completed the comeback. It was Watts making a driving run, and for the first time, Exeter looked dangerous down that right-hand side. His cross into the box was initially cleared by Oxford, but quite a poor clearance, really. And the defence just kind of stood around and watched and just allowed Mitchell to run onto the loose ball and hit it into the bottom corner. Once again, defence just standing around like statues. Mitchell has 2. Exeter have 2, and they were in the lead. And they took that lead into half-time, and Gary Rowett has work to do as Oxford was staring a third-round exit in the face. It was a bright start from Oxford, but other than that, they looked very, very average. And Exeter themselves, that's the most annoying thing, is they haven't really had to work too hard to be in the lead in this game. 2 good goals from Mitchell, and you'd have to say they do deserve the lead, but it's been a bit of a nothing game, I have to say. Quite simply, Oxford need a massive improvement in this second half, or they are heading out. But they didn't get that improvement, and if anything, Exeter were even better in the second half, and they fully deserved to book that passage into the 4th round, and Oxford just didn't show any real intensity or any urgency all the way through the game. 56 minutes into the second half, we saw the first chance, but it went to Exeter from a corner, and it was a really good chance, actually. Kramer, not really a free header, but it was a header quite close to the goal, and although he was under a bit of pressure, you would have expected him to hit the target, but instead he kind of ballooned it over the bar. Oxford's best chance came on 61 minutes, and at that point you just sensed that maybe they were starting to up the ante and improve a little bit. Some quick feet by Dembele in midfield got him away from a couple of players, and he found Scarlett on the edge of the box. Scarlett got the ball out of his feet, and we've seen him do this before, have this uncanny knack to find the bottom corner. It was a good strike by Scarlett, but this time it went just wide, and Oxford were made to pay for that miss, because just 3 minutes later, Exeter made it 3-1. We talked about Dembele's bit of skill in the middle, but that was matched by Watts, who was a wonderful little turn to get him away from 2 Oxford players, and he drove at the heart of the Oxford defence. He played it to Harper on the edge of the box, and Harper's low effort found the bottom corner, and Exeter were 3-1 up. Once again, it felt all too easy, but this was probably Exeter's best goal of the game. But once again, you're left thinking, anybody make a tackle? Ingram, any chance of making a save? And really, Exeter looked the more likely of getting a 4th goal than Oxford did of getting a 2nd. There's no real need for me to go over every chance to condemn my misery, but there certainly were chances for the likes of Aitchison, and he actually made Ingram, forced him into a save, which was a sight for sore eyes. But on 80 minutes, this game got worse for Oxford United. What could possibly get worse? Well, it was a red card. And it was a red card for Tyler Goodrham as well, one of our most influential players. Goodrham was fouled in the middle of the park, got his shirt really ripped off his back almost by the Exeter man, but in the aftermath, Goodrham was adjudged to have elbowed the Exeter player that was fouling him. I thought it looked pretty harsh, the Exeter player rolling around on the ground like you'd fully expect, but it's never going to get overturned once the referee's given it, so now we're going to have lost Tyler Goodrham for 3 games. There were further chances towards the end of this game for Exeter to make this scoreline more comprehensive. The best on 86 minutes, where Ali, who'd come off the bench, carved out an excellent chance for himself, really. Excellent bit of skill, but once again, Ingram made the save. And yeah, it all ended rather terribly. Exeter fully deserved it. Once again, congratulations to Exeter City. Hope you go and get a big tie in that 4th round. Oxford were miserable today. Let's move on to those final thoughts. And let's start with Exeter City. Once again, I'm full of praise for you guys. You Grecians turned up and put in an excellent performance today. Actually, I'll say excellent performance. I would say you've no doubt had harder games in League One than you did up against Oxford, who are a Championship side now, who you faced today. The fact that the crowd was singing Championship, you're having a laugh, I think fit the bill pretty well, because Oxford certainly didn't look like a Championship side, and Exeter didn't really need to play that well to win this this game. But the one thing that stands out is the way Exeter play the ball around, very calm at passing it around at the back, certainly try to play the ball through the third. Sometimes I feel you do it a little bit too much and it could have led to disaster, but generally you can tell that Gary Caldwell's got this side playing some good football. I would like to see you maybe try and get that ball out to the wings a little bit quicker, because I do think that's where you look at your most dangerous. But hey-ho, it's a system that seems to be working. Obviously, Mitchell was superb with his 2 well-taken goals, but Watts was probably your best player, your key player, and the skill he showed in the build-up for that third goal pretty much epitomised that. But all in all, a very comfortable, routine win for you Grecians. I don't really have too much more to say than that. You dealt with Oxford United with ease today, especially after going 1-0 down early on in the game. So let me know your thoughts on this game. Let me know your thoughts on the season. Let me know your thoughts on what can happen in the league and who you hope for in round 4. I hope you get a really good tie. And let's move on to Oxford United. And I was really disappointed, to say the least, with this Oxford United performance today. I thought this was pretty embarrassing, pretty shameful, and the fact that we had a week to prepare for it and we turned up with that performance is borderline inexcusable, really. An experimental lineup from Gary Rowett, obviously changing 8 players from the side that played against Preston, and those players that have done so well in the first 4 games. And boy, did it feel like it. And boy, did it feel disjointed. And not for the first time this season, those fringe players just have not stepped up to the plate. I thought the only player that looked kind of decent today was Dembele. I mean, I know Philips scored a goal, but arguably you could say he didn't really do much else in the game. But I thought Dembele was the one guy that looked like something might happen when he was on the ball. Not enough for my liking, and I'm not saying he had a great game. I'm saying he was okay. And I thought, obviously, Plaheta, we've seen what he can do lately, and when he came on late in the game, he did at least show that little bit of urgency as well. But other than that, just really poor, really slow with the passing, really unimaginative play through the thirds. And I know we've seen that against Championship sides at times, and you can put that down to the step up in quality. But there was no excuse today. And we still moved the ball so slowly, and we still looked like we didn't have a clue what we were doing with it. I know people will say, oh, it's only the FA Cup, I'm not too bothered, the league's more important. But I'm really worried after this game. Plymouth have had a good win, I think, over Brentford. If not, it looked like they've had a much improved performance. And we go to them next, and I'm worried that we've undone a lot of the good work that was done in those first 4 games with this pretty miserable performance. From being in a place where the confidence is high, I hope the confidence hasn't taken a battering after that performance today. And I hope the fans, we're not going to start going like, here we go again. Because if we go to Plymouth and they turn us over, all of a sudden things start to look very different once again. And I'm really worried about how poor these fringe players look. And I know they haven't had a lot of game time, so maybe it's a little bit unfair, but they're just not taking their chance to step up to the plate. The likes of Idris El Massouni and Sibley. I even don't think Scarlett is looking that impressive. I know he did well. I thought his work rate was good against Preston, but I wasn't that impressed with him today. The likes of Tara Vest and Jordan Thornley and Matt Ingram, maybe most of all, just don't fill me with any confidence that if these guys have to come in and play a significant amount of games, oh my goodness, I'm really worried that the form's just going to go back to how it was under when we got rid of Buckingham. And maybe I'm being a bit hyperbolic, maybe I'm going too far. You can let me know down below, and we'll certainly know more after Tuesday night. But what's frustrating is that the players played so poorly, we then had to bring players like Plaheta, like Goodrham on. Goodrham gets a red card, so now we don't have him for the next few games. But also as well, without Plaheta in the side, where's the pace? Where's the creativity come from? He looks like the only guy we've got that's able to like change a game. And it's really no coincidence that when he's not playing, we don't look that great. And that's weird to say because a lot of people didn't even want him in the side a few games ago. So it just shows you how much stronger this Oxford side needs to become before we really start feeling safe in this championship. We can't be over-reliant on Plaheta all the time. We need more pace and more quality coming from other avenues. And maybe I shouldn't harp on about Matt Ingram all the time, but if Jamie Cumming does get injured, my goodness, I am very worried if Matt Ingram has to come in and play a significant amount of games at the end of the season, because he does not look anywhere near Cummings' level from a shot-stopping point of view. And all in all, I felt really let down by the players today. I thought they put in an awful performance, and I think we need a massive improvement on Tuesday night. I hope Gary Rowett reads the riot act to those players in there today, because we went to a League One club that's not doing amazingly well at the moment in the league, and these guys just put in what looked like hardly any effort or any enthusiasm to even want to be there, or any enthusiasm to even want to progress in the cup, and that felt a little bit unacceptable to me. But let me know your comments down below. As I say, I'm really angry on this one. It can all be put right on Tuesday night if we get something at Plymouth. Even a draw would be a decent result. But I'm worried about the squad, the shape of the squad moving forward. It shows to me we do need significant improvement. But let me know down below. Let me know your comments, as you always do. And I'll be back to do another predictions video, probably coming out tomorrow or Monday. And then I'll do a review of the Plymouth game and the Blackburn game. Yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. I'll be here for virtually every Oxford game. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Terrible result today. Well done to Exeter. I'll see you soon.